What the hell? The price went up!
Okay, let's be honest, these days everything feels like a scam, and not in the in-your-face pyramid scheme kind of way, more like this subtle constant erosion of value. You know the drill, you're paying more, getting less, and half of the time you don't even notice until your bank account is close to zero and all you've ever really paid for is an Apple trial and some lunch. Today I want to talk about that feeling, why it's happening, where it occurs, and how modern life has suddenly turned into one giant upsell. This is the scam economy and we're practically living in it.
Don't worry if the price starts going up, just keep buying.
Okay, so let's start with something common that almost everybody uses, which is streaming services. Back in the day, Netflix used to feel normal. There used to be one pricing and a giant library of shows and movies that you could watch. Now it's basically just a tiered pricing maze. You want 4K, you have to upgrade. You want no ads, you have to upgrade again. You want to share your password with some relative who doesn't live with you or lives in another country, that's an extra $8 per month. And they're not alone, I mean pretty much all streaming services like Hulu, HBO Max, Disney Plus, they've all adopted the same model. Fragmented content, constant price hikes, and ads creeping in unless you pay a premium. Remember when streaming was supposed to save us from cable? I mean, this is the exact reason why we ditched 900 channels that we weren't watching anyway for Netflix basically, which was one flat fee and a ton of content all in one place. You wanna watch one single series? Well, that's too bad. It's split across 4 different platforms, each with their own pricing, each with their own problems. Streaming was supposed to be the revolution, but somehow it turned into just cable with some commitment issues. Have you noticed how your phone suddenly starts to slow down when the new model comes out? Or how your laptop dies after the warranty expires? This isn't a coincidence, it's called planned obsolescence. Remember when things were built to last, like your grandma's blender that used to crush bricks and works even 40 years later? Now your $1,500 smartphone can barely survive a software upgrade. Apple actually got caught slowing down old iPhones. Printer companies lock ink cartridges with chips. Electric toothbrushes come sealed shut so you can't replace the battery. You're just expected to toss the whole thing like it's completely disposable. And that's what companies want. They want to keep you in a constant cycle of replacements. Smartphones, printers, headphones, kitchen appliances, they're designed with limited lifespans, hard to replace parts, and software updates that eventually stop supporting your device. Even when something is technically fixable, it costs way less money to just buy a new model. And that's by design. And it's not just tech, shoes, cars, appliances, even furniture. It's all thinner, flimsier, cheaper. Because making something too durable is actually bad for business. Can't sell you a second one if the first one still works. You're not buying a product anymore, you're basically just buying a temporary functionality. And it's not just products either, I mean, at some point all the companies on planet Earth must have come together and thought, you know what would make that thing better? A monthly subscription. It used to be that subscriptions made sense for like magazines or Netflix. Now you can subscribe to your printer's ink, your car's heated seats, your freaking doorbell camera, a meditation app that locks calmness behind a paywall, or a budgeting app that charges you to save money. You don't even own the things that you're buying anymore, you're just renting them for their potential. Even the basics are now tiered. You don't just buy the software, you get the light version. And if you want to export PDF or dark mode or literally anything useful, it's $9.99 per month, forever. It's basically death by 1,000 microcharges. And they always sell it to you like it's some benefit. You know, we made it more flexible, we made it more customizable, we made it more personal. Except now you're paying close to $400 per year for tools and products that back in the day you used to buy once and just own forever. The worst part is that these subscriptions are incredibly difficult to cancel. You forget about them, they auto-renew, and over time they start eating into your budget. Quietly but consistently. Then there's the flood of ultra cheap products with overwhelmingly positive reviews that feel just a little bit suspicious. Sites like Temu and Shine have mastered this. They offer impossibly cheap goods that arrive looking nothing like the photo. The material's wrong, the sizing is off, the durability basically doesn't exist. But the reviews are glowing. That's because many of them are fake, generated by bots, basically designed to suppress honest feedback. It's manufactured legitimacy. And because it's so cheap, most people just accept the loss and move on. They don't complain, they don't replace it. They chalk it up to, hey, it was just $6, I'll just buy something else. And that's exactly what the companies want. The most common spot where people are getting scammed is actually the grocery stores. Shrinkflation is the phenomenon when the price stays the same but the product gets smaller. Fewer chips in the bag, less cereal in the box, smaller portions in the frozen meals, but the label doesn't change. At the same time, we're seeing greenwashing, where companies add a leaf to their logo, print eco-friendly on the label, and they just charge a premium. They'll claim sustainable packaging, clean ingredients, or carbon neutrality with no transparency or proof. It's performative sustainability designed to sell, not solve. You're not buying a better product, you're buying the feeling of being ethical. And that comes with a 20% markup. Another part is tipping. Tipping used to be a way of showing appreciation for a service you received. Now it's just default expectation, even when there's no service involved. Grab a muffin from a counter, tip screen. Self-service kiosk, tip screen. You just spent $7 on a smoothie and now you're being asked to tip 25% before you've even tried it. And with delivery apps it gets much worse. You're tipping on top of delivery fees, service fees, and sometimes even small order fees. Meanwhile, the companies themselves, like DoorDash or Uber Eats, they're still underpaying their workers. So you're tipping and overpaying and the workers still get squeezed. It's a lose-lose situation, except of course for the platform. And then there's the ultimate marketing sleight of hand, taking ordinary products and making them feel super exclusive. The Stanley Cup, for example, a water bottle that's gone viral for its aesthetic. Limited drop, seasonal colors, influencer hype. Suddenly you have people paying $50 for a metal tumbler and reselling it for even more. Or the latest trend, Labubus, collectible figurines with randomized designs marketed as ultra rare and exclusive. It's not even about functionality anymore, it's about being part of a trend. And that's basically the emotional pull of the scam. You're not buying the product, you're basically buying the story around it. Speaking of trends, try buying a concert ticket these days. You'll watch the price double with processing fees, delivery fees, digital fees, all for something you're likely printing at home or just using a QR code to scan. And now with a lot of things, we're seeing a buy now, pay later option. And not for big expenses, no, we're talking about takeout, groceries, and even fast fashion. That's how normalized debt has become. You're basically expected to finance your lunch. We're being stretched financially in ways that don't make sense, and we're doing it because others are doing it too, but it's just simply not sustainable in the long run. And we can't talk about modern scams without mentioning the great grocery store membership points grift. You know the ones, sign up for our free rewards card, or get exclusive membership deals, or gather points so you get a discount. Sounds amazing, right? Until you realize that 400 points gets you a $2 discount on canned beans. And you only got those 400 points after spending $600 across 5 months. These rewards are barely worth the plastic cards that they're printed on, or actually the app that pushes 5 notifications per day to your phone. And most of these rewards programs aren't even benefiting you at all. They're benefiting the company because they're basically just database collection gadgets. They're tracking your purchases and selling your habits to advertisers or pushing you stuff that you didn't want to even buy in the first place. 90% of these programs don't actually give you anything. They give you these tiny perks like 40% discount on a yogurt, which keeps you to come back, buy more, rinse and repeat. So yeah, it's not just in your head. Everything basically does feel like a scam now. We're navigating a system that's built around extraction. Pay more, get less, subscribe, upgrade, rinse and repeat. But the more aware we are, the more intentional we can be. You can press unsubscribe. You can choose not to upgrade. You can choose not to tip if you're not satisfied with the service. It's basically all in your hands.